Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Leo ni siku kubwa sana. Leo ni siku kubwa eh, na tuna mgeni, kwa hiyo tutatoa maelezo mengi, lakini I'm sure for some of you pia yatawahusu. We have today Dr. Priya Ranjan Swarup. He is accompanied by Mrs. Swarup, Mr. Chair. I can see also Engineer Kichogo, baba yetu, presenters, oath takers, press, ladies and gentlemen. I first and foremost take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Priya, Mrs. Priya. I welcome you to Tanzania. I welcome you to Dar es Salaam. I welcome you to Dodoma. I welcome you to Arabi. Karibuni sana. Karibuni sana means welcome. I welcome you to this very vast country. We are about 1 million square kilometer. I know India is much bigger, but here in Africa, we are one of the big countries. We were first packaged as a country after the Berlin Conference. Like India, the maps have kept shifting, the borders. But then German entered into First World War and it lost. And with it, we lost some territory. So the map was drawn again after the end of World War I. And again in 1964, we were again repackaged by our independent leaders to have Zanzibar as part of us. So it's a diverse yet very united country. We are gifted with peace. We are gifted with nature. We are gifted with more than 60 million people. Some of them were imported from India. And it's a pity that you have come only here for 5 days. You'll just see a tip of us. So even before you depart, I welcome you back again, because you can never have been to Tanzania without having seen our wildlife in Zanzibar. So welcome. We have today some youth, about 400 of them, some of them online, actually most of them online. But again, we have a good tradition of taking an oath. As we know, engineering is head, hand, and heart. So you will today witness our oath taking. Actually, we did this seminar and we timed it so that you can interact with our youth and some of our very senior engineers. So I will take time to introduce ERB in a nutshell. This is a public institution. It's a board, but the secretariat is a public institution. We were established back in 1968, and we have revised our legislation to accommodate the changing environment around us. So the law which we are standing on now is Chapter 63. And the purpose of establishing the body is to protect the interests of the public and users of engineering services, because engineering has a major impact on community safety, public health, environmental protection, and the proper use of public resources. Most of the public spending is on projects which engineering is vital. Our responsibilities is to register engineering practitioners That means engineers as individuals, technicians as individuals, and when they congregate as firms. We register local, I mean people born and educated here, or people born and educated abroad, but also foreigners working in this country, they are required by law to register with us. And with that, we first respect their registration from their home countries. We also regulate engineering ethics and code of conduct. We have the code of conduct. So we have guidelines of the behavior which is expected from engineers. We also do professional development. Part of this program, which I will describe later, is professional development. That is lifetime learning. That's education beyond your first degree. We are also in collaboration with the accreditation authorities, approve engineering courses in the universities. Currently, we have about 11 universities in this country which are offering degree. Our vision is to be a world-class institution that regulates the engineering profession and the engineers. And by your visit, you are coming closer and closer to that being a world-class institution. And our mission is to regulate and monitor the engineering profession in the country and ensure it is efficient in order to achieve performance, innovation, professionalism, integrity, and competitiveness. The board, and when I say the board, I mean the secretariat and the board as a whole, they operate under the Ministry of Works. But we have a 10-people board on us. And our core activities are led by the Chapter 63 Engineering Registration Act, but many other framework laws also apply. We have 4 departments which perform our basic functions. The first department is called registration and is led by Engineer Msabila. That's one of our departments. There is compliance monitoring, I see Eric. Professional development, Veronica. Finance and administration, but the head is not here. That's like a support department. And to be able also to run ourselves as an institution, we have 8 units: legal unit, HR unit, ICT, procurement, internal audit, planning, monitoring and evaluation, marketing, information and communication, and a new unit is emerging. We call it the School of Professional Engineering and Leadership. Can the heads of units stand up so that these people can applaud you? Heads of unit. So that is our organization structure. The legal framework, like I said, we have Chapter 63, but in it, the minister is allowed to make regulations. And currently we have 2 regulations, but in it, again, the board is allowed to make bylaws, and we have several of them. So that's our legal framework. And as the dynamism in engineering dictates, we are now reviewing our principal legislation to accommodate the new developments and the growth in size and complexity of the industry. So we will come up with a new law this year. We have resources. The principal resource is the human resource. There are about 70 employees. Can you 70 people stand up? Some of them are here. Hebu simameni tena wawajue. But we are 70. Okay. 8 are interns. These are young, gifted people who are working with us as interns. Some of them will eventually become our employees. Some of them will go and serve elsewhere. And geographically, 53 are in Dodoma as we process most of at Dodoma. We have our own building, which you will see tomorrow. We have a plot where we can grow up our ideas. It's an empty one. In Dar es Salaam, we have rented an office here, PSSF complex, where we have been, and I will ask most of you also to visit. If you did not come there, you don't leave without going and say hello to your own office here in Dar es Salaam. Iko ghorofa ya 12. Nendeni pale kasalimie. Ni ofisi yenu. In Morogoro, we are starting a new office. It is at the center of Morogoro, kwenye Waswahili, pale kwenye stendi ya zamani. Kuna National Housing, 4th floor. You can also get saved there. It's an office which will secretariat most of our new ideas, including the School of Professional Engineering and Leadership, which I will talk about more later. So we have 3 landed offices, but we have a vast, big presence online. You can actually not visit our office at all and get all the services. You can register, you can pay, you can do whatever. Every engineer has an account there. So we have a big presence there. We have our own applications, custom made for our needs, but we are also have vended applications made by the government, etc. So part of our strategy is automation and setting our systems, mounting our systems online, because our population is growing fast and we cannot keep pace of that growth without leveraging technology. Demographically, the number of engineers is about 42,000 registered in our books, but lopsided a bit because for every female engineer, there are 7 male engineers. So it's a male-dominated club. And for us, that is a challenge. We have to bring equality to our profession. We have so many efforts we are making to bring equality to our community by encouraging girls to do STEM. They drop STEM at secondary school and they realize that they have climbed out of the engineering bus too late. So we are arresting that, and we have a goal by 2030 to have at least in the universities 50-50 between girls and boys. Another demographic fact is the youth. The percentage of youth is 70. So we have to really pay attention to the youth. And what you will witness today is part of that effort to engage the youth and to let them grow faster than we did. We should accelerate them. So some of the programs we run and projects are there to support our mandate. We have the CPD program, where professional engineers are required to keep their minds sharp by continuing to learn something throughout their professional life. We require them to give us 30 CPDs every year, and the licenses collapse after 3 years. So to help CPD, we accredit short courses. Yeah. We do our own courses and seminars, including this one. But we also grace CPD points to activities organized by others, so long as they're relevant. One of our flagship programs is the one which you'll officiate the opening today. It's called Structured Engineering Apprenticeship Program. It enables graduates to gain work experience and correct attitude within the minimum period of 3 years. So the keyword there is structured because there is a syllabus. There's a curricula of what you should cover in the coming 3 years to enable you to be a professional engineer, to enable you to have a professional opinion. It has run for more than 21 years, and it has benefited more than 12,000. And we find that this is a very successful program, and it has quite helped to accelerate the path to professional engineering. Another emerging program which will arrest many things, including the gender disparity, is the STEM support program. This program, we do school outreach. For the past 1 year, we visited 60 schools. And with a positive bias towards girls' school. And we have managed to get a lot of support. We assist with teachers. We assist with soft library, e-libraries, and will in future assist with laboratories. It's a new program, but it works. It works, and it has got a lot of support. And we hope this intervention will show fruit very, very quickly. Another new idea, which we have piloted already, and is growing, is the School of Professional Engineering and Leadership. It's not a university. It's imparting professional skills, things which you don't get at the university. When you finish university, if this was a cycle, there is a quota which is missing. So this quota will be filled by School of Professional Engineering and Leadership and similar initiatives. So what we deal with normally would be professional skills, soft skills, hands-on experience, because 60% will be apprenticeship, will be placement in a job place. For example, if we want to produce a resident engineer, 60% of that program will be by attachment to a good resident engineer. And after that, a jury will decide whether you have become good enough to be registered as such. But we'll also impart positive attitude. And a lot of it will be done also in this seminar, because without attitude, you're nothing. You're like a misguided, a loose cannon. If you have a good attitude, you're a guided missile. You know where you are going. You know why you are an engineer. So we will also deal with that. The school has already done 2 courses. But again, the school will also help to nurture emerging knowledges, supporting new priorities. For example, most of the things we learned at the university are now disputed. Now we have a lot of emphasis on environment, on road safety, on inclusivity, and such things. So these things will take root quickly in the industry before they become part of standards, before they become part of the official curricula of the universities. So that is a problem. Unfortunately, time will not allow us to take you there, but when you come back next time, we'll take you to Morogoro, and we learn from that experiment. Another program we are doing, and we will also pilot sometimes in May, is Youth in Engineering Acceleration Program, where we will help these young people with a lot of technical knowledge. We'll help them with entrepreneurship, how to write a business plan, how to run a company, how to register, how to be compliant. So that is technical and entrepreneurship. So I'm also encouraging these young people here. In May, we'll have a summit, and we'll have another summit in September, where we'll take the gurus here, and they will come and help you write your business idea. You have your business idea, put it on paper, and then we will shape it. So that is the program which we are about to pilot. Like I said, the challenges are natural, coming out of our demographies, is the gender disparity and the Gen Z, the youth. That's what will keep you busy for the next 2-3 years. We are now reviewing our strategic plan. So with that, I want to welcome you again. And for the benefit of all of you here, Dr. Priya Swarap is like a registrar in India. India, they have many authorities which are registering engineers, but there's an apex body called ECI. So he has come to us to learn from us, and we will go and learn from them and exchange the best practices, but also make it easy for our people to go and study in India, for our people to go and work in India, and vice versa. So I complete my introductory remarks by thanking you again and welcoming you back to continue with this story. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, our registrar. Another round of applause, please. I'm sure we have all been equipped with what he has said, preferably our chief guest. We now know exactly what ERB is doing and what ERB is delivering to the Tanzanian community. We thank you, Registrar, for all the efforts which you are doing to impact all the engineers in Tanzania. With this, I humbly request our board chairman, Engineer Advocate David Menyemanga, for the welcome remark on the podium. I request a round of applause to him, as he is the board chairman, which is running and ensuring ERB is delivering accordingly. Please applause, round of applause as he comes on the stage. And again, to those who are online, mute your mic as the board chairman is presenting to us.
Morning. Good morning. Nawasalimu katika jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Nawasalimu katika jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Sasa nadhani kwa sababu ya mgeni wetu itabidi tuendelee kama alivyoanza msajili, itabidi tuendelee kuzungumza Kiingereza ili asijisikie kwamba tunambagua. Sasa kufuatana na program according to the program, I'm supposed to give welcoming remarks. But it has been my tradition to speak something a little bit about, and I really have not discussed with our guest of honor, Dr. Priya Swarap, what he's going to speak. And I'm not sure whether what I'll be speaking could and maybe be part of what he'll speak. I don't know. But I've always thought it's very, very important when we are starting our professional practice. It's always good to reflect how the end will be. It may seem not practical, but it's a fact of life that when we start, we will definitely end someday. So before I venture into that area, I'd like to acknowledge some of prominent engineers who are here. I would like to also acknowledge the presence of Engineer Lucas Chogo. Engineer Lucas Chogo is a prominent mechanical engineer in this country. When I was doing my university degree, he was my supervisor. He was my external supervisor for all my mechanical projects in the university. And when I was now ready for registration, he's the one who reviewed my registration write-up for me to be a professional engineer. And surprisingly, he's the one again who reviewed my registration to become a consultant engineer. So he's been a mentor to me all along my professional work. I also acknowledge the presence of FIDIC Africa President, Engineer Rizwan Kadri. He's a prominent, I would say, I would only say, if you want to look for the best structural engineer in this country, just visit Rizwan. You'll know that he is one of the best structural engineers in this country. And he's also been the president of Institution of Engineers Tanzania. He's been the president of Association of Consulting Engineers, Institution of Engineers Tanzania. So he's a very prominent engineer in this country. Is there another engineer leader inside whom I'm not seeing? Yes. Now, what I'm saying now is we are starting today. Maybe some of you already have engagement and some don't, but don't worry, you will have engagement. You still have 40 years ahead of you, so don't worry, still have engagement. So your first few years will be trying to build up your engineering skills. So you work closely to your supervisor, you work closely to your mentor, so that you gain some engineering experiences. You will also look out for additional training. Some could be in engineering, some could not be in engineering. Like you may want to study business administration, you may want to study CPA, Certified Public Accounting or accounts. You may want to study law, something which will augment or which will add on in engineering. So I put this period is between now to the age of 35. So you're building your engineering competence. You are building your engineering capacity and capability so that you become competent. And I want to assume that by the end of the age or by the time you're around 35, 36, you will become a registered consulting engineer, competent in your area of specialization. Now, this is from the engineering side of things. On the social side of things, you may want to start to build up a family, okay? You may get married. You may have uh, children. So you need to start balancing work, family, balancing. You have to continue to work. You have to balance your family. Now, between the age of 35 to 45 or 50, you are now a really competent engineer, leader in whatever enterprise you're working. If you're in the government, you most likely be arriving at the leadership position. At this time, you also want to draw some other engineers for you to mentor, because if you don't mentor engineers, then you are not contributing very well. You also be participating in engineering activities. If Kavisha will now call for engineers to come out in certain areas, you volunteer yourself to come to assist. You will join Institution of Engineers, you will join Association of Consulting Engineers. You'll be there where engineers are called to stand up. This age between 35, 45 to 50. Now between 50, 55 to 60, this is the age of planning ahead or planning towards the end, in the sense that if you're employed, you have to know that 60 is official retiring age, and so you start planning. What it means planning is not that so having that mental acknowledgement that the day is coming. No, no. It is also to take some steps, okay, including doing the right investments in that area of your expertise, okay, or of your business venture. So if you have collected some money, you may want to invest it in estates, you may want to invest it in stock markets, you may want to invest it in treasury bills. So you have to do a certain level of investment such that when that day comes and you are told now it's time for you to retire, it should not be a shock. It should not be a shock because you've prepared for it. In the past meetings, that day is coming. Don't believe I've been in here for 41 years now. That time will come, and the best thing for you to do is to prepare for it now, today. As you start today, your journey towards becoming a professional consulting engineer, you should also know there is a day where these things will come to an official end. That is the retirement. So if you start to prepare now, then you are going to be fine. Now, I've also discovered that this kind of statements are a little bit hard for people to understand. Let me check. How many of you have understood me? Mmenielewa? Ehe. Wanasema, Wachina wanasema safari ya maili 1000 inaanza na hatua moja. Maana yake ni kwamba utafika hizo 1000 na hamna mwanzo usiokuwa na mwisho. Kwa hiyo sasa ni vizuri sometimes kutizama mwisho kuanzia mwanzo. That's what I've done. Kwa hiyo ya kwangu mimi ilikuwa ni kuwakaribisha, karibuni sana. Naona wengi wamekaa juu, sijui kama wamejipangaje wale wa oath, hebu nyoshe mkono. Wale wa oath ndio wako juu eh? Haya. Kwa hiyo at least mko tayari huko kwenye field. Kwa hiyo karibuni sana, na wale ambao mnaanza wasip, wangapi tuone wasip? Mbona mikono michache sana? Okay. Karibuni sana board. Msajili ameshawakaribisha. This is your board. Anytime karibuni ofisini Dar es Salaam, ofisini Dodoma. Ukituona tunapita huko barabarani, sio vibaya ukatusalimia. Tunaweza tusiwakumbuke kwa sababu ni wengi, lakini tusalimie, tuasie jambo bana, tunapita tunasalimiana, ni jambo jema sana. Sasa MC, nadhani urudishe kwako.
Asante. Round of applause as he finishes the presentation and the introductory remark. I hope we have all came to understand as in reference to what he has spoken, and we now know what we are supposed to take ahead with us as we proceed with the training. Together with this, as to the program comes the oath taking, with which I humbly request our advocate, Messi Jilala, to come for the introductory of the oath taking, so that thereafter she can welcome Advocate Alice Mushi, and a legal officer, to lead the oath taking. Round of applause as Advocate Messi Jilala comes on the stage for the introductory of oath taking. Why do we take oath? Thank you.
Good morning once again. I think it's morning. So as part of the implementation of the regulation under the Engineers Registration Board Act, engineers who are registered with the board as professional engineers, who are used to call them graduate SEAP, are supposed to take oath before they start operating as professional engineers. As one of the requirements, a few reminders that the oath that you are going to take today is a commitment that you are going to take for life. You are committed yourself to the board, to the world, to Tanzanians. Again, on behalf of Tanzanians, you're going to commit yourself to the president that you are going to conduct your activities as professional engineers, and that you are now ready, after you've passed through the SEAP training, you are ready to come and to join the Army of Engineering to perform as professional engineers. And the oath that you're going to take today is going to be used as a prima facie evidence. You are going to take 2 copies. One of the copies is going to remain with the board, and the other copy you'll take with you home. So whenever you are conducting yourself against the professional conduct, the board is going to use that copy of the oath as a prima facie evidence, or the first evidence in any action against you. So I argue engineers who are going to take oath today, make sure that you are, whatever you're going to swear today, you put it into action as you start performing your engineering activities. Before I ask the oath takers to come down, I ask the high table to come in front, because there are going to be many. We have like 200 plus engineers today who are going to take oath. So I ask you humbly to come in front so that you can witness the oath session. While the high table is coming, please, oath takers, come down. We are going to see if you are going to fit here. If you want to fit, then we'll separate you in 2 groups. While the high table is coming, please welcome Advocate Alice Moshi, the Commissioner for Oath, who is going to lead you in the whole oath session. Thank you.
Oath takers will align here in front.
Naomba usije na mizigo, naomba ushike viapo tu, kopi mbili. Naomba tuongeze spidi wahandisi. Naomba usishike kitu mkononi zaidi ya kiapo. Kama una mzigo wote weka chini, kwa sababu utashindwa kugeuza kiapo. Kama umevaa kofia, naomba utoe. Wakili msomi, karibu.
Asante. Engineers, naomba mshike viapo na mkono wa kushoto, your left hand. Then unanyanyua mkono wa kulia juu level ya hiyo. I will lead you. When I say engineers oath, you start reading the first paragraph. Engineers oath.
President of Maternity GPA Box, do hereby solemnly
solemnly and sincerely make oath, affirm, and declare as follows.
Paragraph 1.
That throughout and the period of execution of my duties as an engineer, I commit myself that I shall, to my own knowledge and belief, abide to all provisions as contained in the Engineers Registration Act, Cap 33, and all regulation and bylaws made under and to be made thereafter, including the Code of Conduct and Ethics currently operating, or those to be put in place from time to time.
Paragraph 2.
That I shall deliver and execute all my works as an engineer in a trustful manner without compromising the standards, procedures, and ethics to which an engineer is required to abide to.
Paragraph 3.
That I solemnly pledge myself to consecrate my life to the service of humanity. I will be loyal to the engineer with my life and dignity shall be and to accordance with the oath. It is not Cap 634.
So help me God.
Sworn
Congratulations.
Kapige makofi.
Mtarudi kukaa na kusaini viapo vyenu, then tutavikusanya.
Sawa, waandishi, naomba mtasaini viapo, kila mtu asaini kopi 2, alafu vitakusanywa. Rudi pale pale ulipokuwa umekaa.
Thank you, our chief guest, for leading and witnessing the oath taking as you are accompanied with your wife. Thank you. Okay. Meanwhile, while we are getting set, let's all go back to our seats as we are preparing for the next session. Sorry, wahandisi ambao tumesha hapa, naomba tupande wengi juu, kwani kuna SEAP training wako juu, wao na wahitaji washuke chini, kwa sababu session zinazofuatia zinawahusu zaidi SEAP training. So I request some of the oath takers who are sitting down here to go up, and those who are up to come down. The number is about 20. Not all of you to go up. The number is about 20. I request you to go up after signing and submitting the oath papers. please, engineers. Engineers, naomba tukae. Hello? Let's get seated and let's be keen and quiet, please, as we are preparing to resume. Thank you. Thank you to our oath takers and to our legal officers for leading the exercise of oath taking. And I really appreciate it as it was successful. With this, I wish to welcome our registrar, Engineer Kavishe, to welcome our chief guest on the podium so that we can hear and get to hear and know what he has come up with and he will be presenting to us. Engineer Kavishe, you are welcome.
Not yet.
Yes, you may wait.
Before I welcome Dr. Swarup, because I'll be leaving after this opening ceremony, I wish to acknowledge the presence of my brother from another mother. And from OSHA, he has been a consultant on some of these welcoming preparations. He remembers a few things about India. But this is a hybrid seminar where you will get more than SEAP. So we've also invited IET, Institute of Engineers Tanzania. We have Executive Secretary, Ipiana, simama Ipiana tukupigie makofi. We've a person who mentored our chair and the past president of IET, Engineer Chogo. To most of you, he's a grandpa. To me, he's my father. And they have a desk, they've set up a desk outside there because we know Engineer Chogo cannot stay for a long time. We'll give him a mic after we have left. So they tell you the importance of belonging, importance of going together. When you go to Mikumi National Park, even the toughest animal, buffaloes, they go in a herd because if they go alone, they become lunch for the lions. So engineers have to belong. So please belong. For those who are joining the fraternity now, you are encouraged to register with IET. Mzee will tell you why it's important. But for all oath takers, you are already practicing. First of all, I congratulate you for this step. Some have traveled from very far, and this shows that you are putting your heart before everything. You are putting yourself before the community of Tanzania, that you will work for them. You'll be a guided missile. So I'm also encouraging the oath takers to join IET, Institute of Engineers Tanzania. They will nourish you and they will help your compliance. They will help you to live your oath. So please, these people will be here for the rest of the program until day after tomorrow. But again, we have invited Mr. Ugata, people from Taesa. They are here. 2 people from Taesa are here. It's very important that you also enroll in Taesa. And the 3rd day will be dedicated for Taesa. Taesa will widen your horizon. They will increase your possibilities. They will increase your employability. So please also join Taesa. This is specifically for those who are doing the SEAP seminar. So, so at the end of the 3 days, you will become a different person. You'll have started your professional journey with ERB, also your professional journey with IET, and your employability with TAESA. These are privileged times. In our times, we didn't have all this assistance, so please take advantage of it. Having said those, it's now my pleasure and privilege to welcome Dr. Swarap to give his insights to us. Karibu.
Asante Sana, thank you so much for giving all the love and affection to me. And I would thank my newly acquired friends, Registrar ERB and the Chairperson ERB. And of course, other friends from Institution of Engineers. As a fellow of Institution of Engineer, I myself have a great regard for the good and one of the oldest professional association and instrumental in creating Engineering Council of India, which I am. Honorable Registrar was speaking about the requirement of human resources. Now, here is a very interesting problem which I am sure both India and Tanzania are facing. And I am just going to experiment that we have launched in India. This is all about exchanging the opinions, views, and learning from each other. I am trying to transport all of us back to the old also has the similar problems, and that's why we are going to be talking about it. Like what you have in Tanzania, in India also, the hardcore engineering discipline. I'm talking about civil engineering, I'm talking about mechanical engineering, and I'm talking about electrical engineering. Now, what is the problem? The problem is that youngsters here or in India or in any other country for that matter, including United States, they are very, very enamored to get into artificial intelligence and information technology domains. Now, here comes the question that who is going to be taking care of the physical infrastructure throughout the country and throughout the world for that matter. Those of you who have visited United States, you would see that the interstate highway network of United States is in a severe problem. Germany is facing, in Europe, they are facing a severe problem of housing because they don't have adequate human resource available to them. In India, probably in my whole lifetime, and mind you, I'm in my 70s, and I have seen it for last 50 plus years, the way construction industry has progressed in India and elsewhere in the neighboring countries. And all I can tell you that all that was constructed during my first 35 to 40 years of working has now been put on the anvil for last 10 years or 12 years. You have 23 metro rail corporations who are going to be set up. They are being set up today. You have half a dozen airports that have to be built. You have huge housing that is now being built and is going to be continuously built. I am absolutely certain artificial intelligence is going to provide help. But fact of the matter is that who fundamentally is going to be constructing all that? So, the solution that we found, we said that let us take our workers, let the construction workers be converted into engineers. We have gone on that particular track. And a new program has now been introduced, which is called Bachelor of Vocation. This is something which is a midway program between diploma and degree in engineering. The focus is more on hands-on working. And the workers who meet the basic educational qualification framework, they are encouraged to join Bachelor of Vocation program who are now spreading throughout the country because this has been helping us to solve the problem. Of course, these are early days. So this is one experience that I am sharing with you. I am absolutely certain that sooner or later the same situation will be here or it has already arrived there. My friend from Institution of Engineer would know about it. Majority of the industry captains that we have, they are in their 50s, 60s and 70s. Where are the young people? That's a very question. So my dear engineers, I am looking at you now that you are the ones who are going to be taking the light further and getting into this particular area. I have also to share with you a few things, because this visit of mine is a very short visit and introductory visit. But there are a few things that I have to tell you, and especially seeing the senior representative of FIDIC, I have brought with me the standard contract documents that have been prepared for underground utilities. Which are the things that we have to look after now? We have to build houses. I was going through the economic review of Tanzania also, and you are big way in housing. You are also trying to construct your highways and roads, your airports, and several other things. But as the cities are growing, there is a need of knowing trenchless technology, and that's something that I have brought with me. I'll formally like to gift it to you so that you can have a deliberation and we have, and we would be more than happy to share these with you. And we use. I will be meeting in my successive days with number of other people, and I'm very country. They are working anywhere and from anywhere for that matter. Why should we not basically have that kind of a fraternity created? So let us look at that. And we can also see one more, and it is the similar problem we are facing in India. The ratio, the gender ratio, the women engineers and the men engineers, the ratio is 1:7 or 1:8, right in our case also. And it's very happy to be here with all of you. And I think uh, the time doesn't permit me to go beyond this. But before I close, I would like to leave behind something of a memento for Honorable Chairman of ERB and Registrar of ERB. I am coming down and I will be giving it there. Thank you very much.
Sorry, we may just back behind. Thank you. We really appreciate. Thank you.
And circulating it widely. Please share it with the Institution of Engineers and others also. And I'll be very happy in case it is picked up. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our presence will give you on Dodoma. We will revenge this.
I say both of us are going to get even. Don't say revenge.
No, it was a joke.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the gift which you have given us. We really appreciate. With this now comes a time for group photo so that we can have the memories as you go back to India and as we stay here. We shall keep in memories that there was a moment you came here, witnessed the oath taking and the introduction of another SEAP training group. So please head front for the pictures, and Secretary, please organize to me the seats for their high tables. The first one will be for the high table, but shall be followed by the SEAP female students. So all the SEAP female students, get prepared. Please, you may stand up so that once the first the first photo is done, you'll be the one to follow. But today, as a reminder, it's a day which we are celebrating the Women Day in Science. So as we are all here, I wish to recognize the presence of all the women in engineering as they are part of the Women in Science, which is being celebrated worldwide today. Naomba wahandisi wanawake, please, SEAP trainees, you may stand up because the picture just takes a minute so that we don't waste more time. Please. As you come, some will be at the back seat and some will be on the stage. Female SEAP trainees. Just a minute, wait for the first photo. Is it done already? Yes, it's done. Some behind the seat and some on the stage. Wangea tupande juu. Oh, sorry. So again, karibu na podium kule. Auntie, naomba ushike chini. Those behind, please come front so that you are all seen on the picture. Auntie, come down. Njoo, mbele. Asante. The next one is all the SEAP trainees. So we may stay, some of us, so that we join the first group. So we join with Nell, SEAP trainees. Now is a group together, female and male. I'm saying female and male, all the SEAP trainees, please stay. So that we join. Nusu kwa nusu, wadada wengine tusubiri, tutachanganyika na wakaka. This is a mixed group. So even as we are standing, let's mix together, male and female, so that there is no separation, because even at school we are studying together, and even at work we'll be together. The male are the ones supporting us, and we are the ones supporting them. And also those still sitting, you may stand up so that the next group will follow. Please, once I'm requesting, just obey, and so that we don't waste more time. Wakati wa kutoka tutatokea upande wa kule, tunaokuja tuingilie upande wa huku. Naomba tusogee tafadhali. Come closer please. Thereafter, the next group, then it shall be followed by the presenters. Wengine tupande juu. Please, naomba tuchangamke. Wengine tuende upande wa kule please. Naomba tuende kule. The other side. Presenters please. I request presenters, including and Ipiana. Presenters, I welcome host takers, just one group. Those who are sitting down, you'll be welcome for the group photo host takers. I hope you are down here. Asante. Coming. Madam. Please hurry up. Please hurry up, host takers, for the picture. It's your time. I think we are done. Thank you. Okay. Please, may we stand up as the chief guest is getting out of the event venue. And round of applause as they are getting out, congratulating them to what they have done for us. And I hope we have gathered so much more as we head for the SEAP training, and to those who are heading for the practicing as engineers professional. I know we have gathered so much more. Thank you. Clap our hands, please, as they are getting out, the chief guests and our registrar, board chairman, and the chief guest's wife. Thank you indeed for what you have done for us today. Asanteni. Asante sana na nashukuru kwa sesheni zilizopita zote na matukio yote ambayo yamepita. Now, as we go, now is a time for the presentations, of which some of the presentations are already done. Now, as to our timetable, and as to the presenters who are here, I wish to welcome the presenter from OSHA, as he has an emergency. He was supposed to be there tomorrow, but he has pledged a request for him to present today, so that as we welcome him on the stage, presenter from OSHA. Mr. Shabani Mkindi. And to all of us, as we know what OSHA is doing, OSHA is about safety and protection. In different environments where we work, we are supposed as to what we are practicing, all our engineering safety must be adhered. So as safe we can practice and deliver. But if safety is not taken care, it means anything can happen to us, our colleagues, and the environment in which we are. With this, I request all of us for a round of applause as what OSHA is wishing to us to do and abide. Thank you. You are welcome.
To be on site, it is very important to consider that your well-being and the rest of the people in the place that you are working should be considered, should be given priority. Because without safety and health, there will be nobody to work. So it's very important, as you are young engineers, to know it in advance, so that once you get on site, you should keep in mind that you'll only be able to work, you and your colleagues, only if you have a good health. And that cannot come by chance. It has to be invested. You cannot be healthy and safe just by chance. It has to be invested. And I'm just here today to give you a few tips, of which will help you once you get on site. To start with, it is very important at least to know what is OSHA. As you are here today, I believe that some of you know OSHA, but others does not know OSHA. OSHA, it seems as a Swahili word, but it is an abbreviation of the word Occupational Safety and Health Authority. Where does OSHA come from? Basically, OSHA is a government agency under the Prime Minister's Office, Minister of Labor, of which the main objectives of OSHA is to ensure that every working class is safe and healthy. And this is an investment of the government to make sure that as a worker, you work in safe and healthy environment, of which that is an investment. It's only when you are safe and healthy that you'll be able to work. Otherwise, there will be no production and there will be no work. So it's very important at the outset, right before you go to the site, to know that you will only be able to produce only if you are safe and healthy. Now, how can it be safe? It's only if you invest on safety and health. And that investment in our country is administered by OSHA. By the way, OSHA, as a government institution, has got responsibility, of which the main responsibility of OSHA is to ensure that all places are safe and healthy. How? It is through Occupational Safety and Health Acts, number 5 of 2003. You as a young engineer, before you go to site, make sure that you have that act on your hand. As you know, our activities has got a lot of hazards. What is hazard? Hazard is anything that has got a potential to cause harm. So it means when you are working on the site, you will be surrounded with a number of hazards in many ways. There are different types of hazards, of which you have to know one after another, so that once you are on the site, you will be able to take care of which hazard. There is physical hazards, there is mechanical hazards, there is biological hazard, there is a psychosocial hazard, and many more. So you as a young engineer, you have to know all these so that once you are on site, you'll be able to take into consideration that you are in a dangerous place. As a matter of fact, according to the ILO statistics, construction site is one of the dangerous place to be. So it's also a dangerous place to work. So don't take life for granted. You have to make sure that once you're on site, you have to make sure that you make consideration of all the hazards around you. Not only you, but also to your colleagues. Only by considering that, you'll be able at least to take care of one another. As I've said before, OSHA is responsible for ensuring safety and health in the workplace through Occupational Safety and Health Acts. Just allow me to tell you some few parts of these acts so that at least you can be acquainted with some of the requirements of the acts, of which once you are on site, you will know which one to take into consideration. The first part of the act is about preliminary provision, where it describes the name of the act and when it starts. Second part is administration. The administration is the part of the act that explains or describes how this act is administered in the workplace. For example, the powers of the inspectors, the function of the safety health representatives, of which once you have that act, section number 11 up to section number 14, you'll be able to know what are the requirements. The first and the foremost part is part 3, and this is very important. You as the young engineers, you have to know that according to the OHS Act, section number 3, it requires that every workplace, every site on which you work has to be registered the OSHA. And that being the case, you have to make sure that your working place is safe and healthy according to what the law says. There is also section number 5, section number 4, the general safety provisions that explains the dangers of machines, the fire, the need for the induction. Once you are on site, any newcomer, either it's a worker or a visitor, has to go through inductions. What is induction? Everybody who is visiting your workplace at the first time has to be taught of what are the dangers and what are the control measures. That's very important. Section number 5 is welfare provision. And this is very important, that once you are in a workplace, as far as you know that there's a people who are working there, their welfare has to be considered. For example, sanitary facilities, drinking water, clothing, first aid. These are the very important things to be considered inside. For example, in the construction site, there is what we call change room. It should be there. People should be given drinking water free of charge. This is according to the law. However, Section number 7, hazardous materials. In the workplace, there are lots of hazardous materials, for example, fumes, dust, and so on. All these have to be taken into consideration. The eighth part is chemical provision. As you are on site, you'll be dealing with chemicals. According to the law, you have to take consideration of the chemical by considering all safe handling procedures. Section number 9, the offenses and penalties. It explains what will happen if you commit an offense. What is an offense? But the definition of the act, an offense is to go against any part of the act. That means you commit an offense. And what will happen if you commit an offense? There are 2 parts, of which each have got 3 parts. The first part of the offense is for the employer. Employer can commit an offense, but also an employee or a worker can commit an offense, of which there is punishment to each one of it. For example, for the employer, if an employer commits an offense, for example, work procedures, it does not ensure the place is safe, then if it's found guilty under this law, he will be liable to a penalty of no less than 5 million. Of not less, of not more than 6 months. That's for the employer. But for the case of the employee, if the employee commits an offense, for example, you are given a PPE, you don't use it. You are given instruction, you don't follow it. And the other day, it leads to an accident or any loss. If you find guilt as an employee, you will be liable to a penalty of not less than 200 shillings or imprisonment of not more than 3 months. So you can see, according to this act, the employer and the employees all are responsible. And this, they commit an offense, they will face the punishment. So it's very important you as young engineers, once you go on site, you should know that there is this act of which you have to stand for. And mind you, we Tanzanians, we are usually to follow law just to impress the government or not to be imprisoned. No. This act is for your own good. Don't consider it because you want to not go to jail or to be fined. No. This act is for your own good as a safety officer, as a supervisor, as an engineer, and so on. This will help you to remain healthy and to be able to be productive throughout your working sessions. Now, how do we come into these sort of accidents in the workplace? There are so many ways in which we can find us in a place that we cause accidents. For example, taking shortcuts, not following procedures, being overconfident when you are working on site, beginning tasks with the incomplete instructions, poor housekeeping. You see, your working place will be fine, well arranged. Ignoring safety procedures, mental distractions. And this is very important. Mental distractions means a lot. While you are on site, make sure that all your people, they are not mentally distracted. For example, drinking alcohol or taking any form of liquors, okay, or drugs. Unsafe working environment. You as an engineer or supervisor, you have to make sure that you ensure that the workplace is safe for the people to work. Inadequate safety measures. As I've said before, you are surrounded with a number of hazards. So you have to make sure that you take precaution so that you cannot be involved in those accidents. Poor designs of the machines, working tools, or improper maintained machines. Lack of training. to make sure that workplace is safe. The last and not least, the poor supervision. You as a leader, an engineer, safety officer, and so on, you have to make sure that you ensure that all the procedures are adhered to. All the workers understand their duties, they understand what to do and how to do and when to do. You have to make sure that you stand for that. Otherwise, if you are not a good supervisor, you will be a source of accidents. Now, how can you now come to control these accidents? Basically, there are different ways in which accidents can be controlled. Considering the hierarchy of hazard prevention and control, the first and the foremost controls of this hazard in a workplace is elimination. That is, you eliminate the hazard completely. And you can eliminate it in different ways. There is substitution. Sometimes you are using something that is dangerous. You advise you substitute it with something that is less dangerous. Engineering controls. Sometimes in some circumstances, you have to design something so that you can avoid any can be harmful to the workers. The other way is administration. The workers has to be told what to do and how to do. That's why there is safe work procedure. In every work, in every activity, you have to have a safety plan that will guide you throughout the work so that people can work and be safe. Last and the least is the use of PPE. In working areas, most people have been preferring using personal protective equipment. But remember, personal protective equipment is used as a last resort. What does it mean? In order to control hazards in your workplace, you have to consider this hierarchy. You have to start with the elimination. But if you cannot manage, then you go to the use of PPE. What is PPE? PPE is a personal protective equipment that prevents worker from injuries. For example, safety boots, hard hats, gloves, goggles, earplug, ear muff. All are the things that we use in the workplace to prevent workers from injuries. But this has to be used only if other method has not been effective. For example, you are working in an area where there is a dust, there is a noise. First of all, you have to find out what is the source of those noise, what is the source of dust. Try to reduce, to suppress the dust, rather than opting to use a protective. See, there is a noise. What is the source of noise? Can you control the noise? But if you cannot control the noise, that's when you are advised to use a personal protective equipment. But at the first and the foremost, you have at least to try to eliminate it. But if you fail, then you can use what you call personal protective equipment. Now, as engineers, once you are on site, there are things that you have to make sure that they are in line with the requirements. This is what we call OHS compliance requirements. Now, one day you'll be an engineer for a project, but now you have to know what is required by OSHA. There are two things. As I've said, section number 3 of the Act, it requires that every workplace to be registered. And that is when you will be given registration certificate. The second thing, once you are registered, OSHA inspector will come to visit your workplace to make sure that, or to see if you comply. Once you are inspected and you are instructed and you follow the instruction, you will be given what we call compliance certificate, of which is a part of the OHS requirement. Now, how can you get this compliance certificate? First of all, make sure your workplace is registered. Your people are trained on OHS issues. You have personal safety and health policy. You have conducted what we will call risk assessment. You have safety officers in place. In case of accident, those accidents should be reported to OSHA. What kind of accident? In case somebody is injured to the extent that he cannot proceed with the work for a day, that accident has to be reported to OSHA. However, if somebody is injured below that, that has to be recorded in a document. You also have to have an emergency preparedness and rescue plan according to your activities. You also have to have firefighting mechanism to your workplace. You also have to ensure that welfare is well adhered. For example, people in your workplace, they should have toilets, they should have drinking water, they should have change room, and that should be in your site, irrespective of your location. Make sure that human rights should be observed. Sometimes it happens that there's areas, there's a project, there's no toilets, there's no change rooms, there's no water, and that's wrong. According to the law, you commit an offense. So it's very important, you as an engineer, you go to site, make sure that you know all these things, and you advise your clients, you make sure that he abides to it. Now, saying all that, what are the importance of compliance? This is the last part anyway. Once you've done all what is required by the law, besides being safe against these penalties, there are so many advantages that you as an engineer or an employer or an employee can benefit. First of all, once you have complied with OSHA requirements, your workplace will be safe and healthy. The safety of the people will be guaranteed. Now, if you don't mind, can I ask you some few questions before I end up my presentation? What do you think are the other advantages you as an employer or an employee can benefit if your workplace is safe and healthy? The master of the floor is around, please, to help me, somebody to share. Can anybody say what is the importance once you've complied with OSHA requirements? What are the advantages? Can I have at least 2 people to contribute? Anybody? Can anybody try? Once you've complied with OSHA, can you mention at least 2 advantages? Anybody? Yes? Good. Yes, there'll be less injuries. What else? Who else can try? Anybody can try? Yes? Can you repeat? Okay, very good, thank you. Now, once you have complied with OSHA, there are so many benefits, of which the foremost of it is the rising of the morale of the worker. Maana yake ni kwamba kama eneo lako la kazi liko salama, sawa eh? Mazingira ni mazuri, wafanyakazi watakuwa wanafanya kazi kwa ari, sawa eh? Kwa matokeo yake ni nini? Wafanyakazi wanapokuwa wanafanya kazi kwa ari, matokeo yake ni kwamba patakuwa na ongezeko la nini? La uzalishaji, production. Na panapokuwa na ongezeko la production, maana yake hata faida itafaje? Itaonekana. Na hii maana yake kinyume chake pia ni kweli, kwamba kama eneo lako la kazi si salama, production itafanyaje? Itashuka. Kwa sababu gani? Wafanyakazi watakuwa hawana ile ari ya kufanya kazi. Kwa hiyo unaweza ukajikuta kwamba at the end of the day, yale malengo yako ya kampuni yanaweza yasifikiwe kwa sababu tayari wafanyakazi hawana ari ya kufanya kazi, sababu hawako salama. Kwa hiyo hii inapelekea ukaathirika kiuchumi, na hata baadaye kampuni kama kampuni ikashindwa kuendelea na hatimaye ikaanguka kiuchumi. Kwa hiyo ningependa sana nyie kama maengineer, mtakapokuwa mnakwenda site, mliangalie swala la safety kama ni mtaji, kwamba watu wangi wakiwa salama, kitu kwamba nitakuwa sina kesi na OSHA, bali pia hawa watu wataweza kufanya kazi kwa ziada na hivyo kuleta ufanisi katika kwa kiwango cha kazi. Na hii sasa ndio ufanisi wa nini? Ufanisi wa kampuni. Na wewe kama msimamizi wa site, sasa hapo ndipo na wewe pia utaweza kuonyesha kwamba ni kiongozi bora. Kwa sababu gani? Watu wako wana ari ya kufanya taka tuwe salama kwa sababu ya kutokana na adhabu za kisheria. Hapana, tuangalie kwamba ni njia mojawapo ya kutuwezesha sisi tuweze kuwa na maendeleo endelevu. Sasa sehemu yangu ya mwisho kabisa, kwa uchache tu na kwa nataja kozi chache ambazo tunazitoa pale OSHA kwa lengo kuu hasa la nini? Na kuwajengea uwezo zaidi masuala mazima ya usalama na afya mahali pa kazi. Tuna kozi kama 18, lakini nitataja chache ambazo nyewe kama maengineer zitawafaa zaidi. Kitoka hapa mtakwenda kusupervise scaffold. It's true that unaweza kuwa unafahamu structurally scaffold ijengeje. Je, kiusalama inatakiwa iweje? Na maengineer, naomba muondoke hapa mkiwa mnafahamu vitu viwili. Sawa? Kuna swala zima la uelewa wa kazi kiutendaji, lakini pia kuna uelewa wa kazi kiusalama. Hivi vitu viwili lazima viende vizuri. Kwa nini? Zima la kuandikisha kampuni, tunaongea swala zima la kuomba mafunzo OSHA. Hivyo sasa hivi serikali ya Tanzania imeama, naomba mpigie makofi mengi tafadhali, makofi mengi kwa serikali yetu. Sasa hivi kila taasisi ya serikali inaenda kimtandao, yaani ukitaka huduma za OSHA huhitaji kwenda OSHA. Sawa? Huduma za OSHA zinapatikana katika mtandao moja kwa moja. Either unataka kwenye mafunzo pili, tumesema eneo la kazi lazima liandikishwe. Utaingia kwenye mtandao, utaandikisha eneo lako, utapewa control number, utaandika information zako kama ambavyo ulivyokuwa unafungua akaunti yako maybe ya email na kadhalika. Unafungua akaunti yako. Sasa tegemea kama ni mtu kampuni, unakwenda kwenye register workplace. Ukienda kwenye register workplace, una click pale, itakuhitajia uingize information za aina mbili. Kwanza utaingiza personal information zako ili baadaye uweze kulogin. Unakuwa tayari ushalipa gharama ya awali ya ukaguzi. Aidha, kwa upande wa sehemu ya kwanza hii hapa ya kushoto kwa sisi ambao tumekaa huku, utaingiza taarifa zako pale, jina, phone number, email, tarehe ya kuzaliwa. From there utafungua akaunti yako kwenye huu mtandao wetu. Ukishafungua akaunti yako, watakutumia link kwa ajili ya kuactivate hii account kwenye email yako. Kwa baadaye ukifungua ile link, tayari ushafungua akaunti yako. Kwa hiyo unapotaka mafunzo ya OSHA, unaingia katika akaunti yako, unaandika ile WIMS pale, na kama bado uzuri umesave kwenye kompyuta yako au kwenye simu yako, ukiita inakuja, una login. Ukisha login, unaingia kwenye mafunzo. Unachagua mafunzo unayoyataka, Ukishachagua mafunzo unayotaka kwa mkoa mbalimbali kama ambavyo inavyoonyesha, and then ukishachagua within 24 hours unapewa control number. Then ukishalipia siku ya mafunzo unaja kwenda na risiti wala document yote ile, unaingia darasani, sababu kuna mifumo yetu tunakuona, kwa tayari unakuwa umeweza kuingia darasani. Otherwise kwa upande wa registration kule, ukishafanya registration unapata certificate yako online. Ukishalipia ukiklik on certificate unapata certificate yako. Na the same apply katika training pia. Ukishasoma mafunzo yetu, cheti chako utakipata huku huku. Ukishafanya ukamaliza, of course kwa mfano kama yale mafunzo ya mwanzo yale ya 820 yana mtihani. Ukishafaulu mtihani unapata cheti chako, ingia katika mtandao wako, ukaenda kwenye certificate, ukiklik cheti chako kinaonekana, una print, unakwenda kwenye interview, unakuwa umefanyaje? Unakuwa umemaliza. The same apply kwenye registration. Ukishalipa, baadaye ufungua account ya kampuni, ingia kwenye certificate, utaiona, utaiprint, tayari utakuwa umepata nini? Certificate yako. Kwa hiyo tayari unakuwa umeshapata sehemu ya kwanza ya kisheria kwamba kuna registration. Sehemu ya pili ni compliance ambayo inapatikana baada ya nini? Ya kuaguliwa na OSHA. Sehemu yangu ya mwisho, kwa heshima kabisa, niwakaribisheni kwenye mitandao yetu ya kijamii. Sisi kama OSHA hatuko nyuma. Tumo kila mahali. Kienda katika Excom tuko, Instagram tuko, Facebook tuko, online TV tuko, na vile vile katika India na kwenyewe tuko. Kwa hiyo unapoandika hayo maneno hapo, automatically tayari unakuwa umeingia katika mitandao yetu. Kwa hiyo nilikuwa nawashauri na kuwaomba, OSHA ni taasisi yenu kwa ajili yenu. Mkienda katika mitandao huku pia mtapata taarifa nyingi, na pia kama kuna maoni pia mnaweza mkatuma maoni yenu, na kwa pamoja tunaweza tukaijenga nchi yetu. Na kufikia hapo, niwapongezeni sana kwa kuwa katika hii SEAP program, na niwakaribisheni sana katika dunia ya ujenzi, na niwatakieni kila laheri, nikiamini kwamba haya ambao nimewaambieni nitayasimamia kwa ajili ya usalama wenu na kwa ajili ya usalama ya wafanyakazi wenzenu, na hatimaye kwa pamoja tunaweza tukaijenga nchi yetu tukiwa tuna afya bora. Asanteni kwa kunisikiliza. Naomba niruhusu kama kuna maswali mawili matatu, ili nikiondoka hapa nisiache mtu na maswali. Karibuni sana. Any question please? Any question concerning OSHA, concerning safety and so on? Sawa eh? Naomba mwenye kumiliki floor anisaidie tupate mic pale. Naomba niruhusu maswali mawili tu.
Hello. My question is, kwa mfano ukijisajili OSHA, umesema kampuni zote. Hasa nilikuwa nauliza, what about consultancy companies?
Sheria ya OSHA inasema section number 15 mpaka 18, every workplace has to be registered to OSHA. Wote wale ma consultants, ma contractor, wote wawe register.
Okay, sawa.
Asante. Basi nafikiri muda si rafiki sana. Nishukuru kwa kunisikiliza, na in case kama kuna swala lolote lile, please ingia katika mitandao yetu ya kijamii. You can contribute your ideas, you can ask a question. Lakini pia location yetu tupo Kinondoni kwa Manyanya. Sawa, kwa Kinondoni kwa Manyanya pale ukiulizia OSHA, njia ya kwenda mahakama ya Kinondoni. That's where we are located. So please welcome in case of anything. You'll be saved accordingly. Otherwise, thank you very much. May God bless you all.
Asante sana. Na imani kwamba tumepata kujua OSHA ni nini, wanafanya nini, na mimi kama mhandisi natakiwa nifanye nini, kwa sababu sheria ipo, tunapaswa kufuata sheria. Natakiwa kurejista sehemu ya kazi, waje wakague, waone inakidhi vigezo. Kinyume na hapo, sheria itachukua mkondo wake. Lakini vile vile tujue kwamba afya kwanza. Thamani ya afya haina mbadala. Safety first. Tuna experience nyingi ambazo maeneo mbalimbali zimetokea, lakini ni kwa sababu ya violation of laws. We are supposed to abide with the laws. Naomba tumpigie makofi Engineer Shabani Nkindi. Asante sana. Naomba niweze kumkaribisha mzungumzaji anayefuata, Engineer Eliza, ambapo atatueleza zaidi kuhusu mafunzo ya SEAP, nini tunatakiwa kufanya, nini hatutakiwi kufanya wakati wa mafunzo ya SEAP mpaka tunafika mwisho. Taratibu gani zifuatwe? Naomba tumpigie makofi Engineer Eliza. Naomba tumpigie tena makofi Engineer Eliza, kwa sababu really yeye yupo kwa ajili yetu siku ya leo, na tuwe makini sana kwenye session hii hapa, kwa sababu ndicho ambacho tutakwenda kukiishi kwa muda wa miaka mitatu ya mafunzo yetu ya SEAP.
Asante mzee, nashukuru. Habarini za mchana. Habarini za mchana. Okay, ongereni sana kwa kuchaguliwa kujiunga na mafunzo ya SEAP. Naamini baada ya mwisho wa hii seminar mtakuwa mmejifunza vitu vingi. So in my presentations, I'm going to pass through what is SEAP, why and importance of SEAP, financing of SEAP, importance SEAP documents, responsibility of trainee, mentor and SEAP provider, SEAP rules and regulations, achievement and challenges. What is SEAP? SEAP is a structured internship program designed to enable young graduate engineers to gain hands-on professional practice under supervision of a mentor. Mentor is the one who is registered as a professional engineer or a consulting engineer. So you are going to be attached in organizations where you are going to be under supervision of a registered engineer who is called a mentor or professional training supervisor. Okay, as I've said, SEAP is an internship program. It is an internship program for an engineers, as there is internship for other categories like lawyers, like nurses or doctors. They have the internship program. So we as an engineers, we have our internship program called the SEAP. SEAP itself is a prolonged way of structured engineers apprenticeship program. Structured engineers apprenticeship program. That means you are going to be guided on how to do in this program. First of all, is by attending this SEAP induction seminar is one of the prerequisites for the training commence. SEAP itself was started in 2003 by the late His Excellency Dr. John Pombe Joseph Magufuli. Up to recently, 14,000 engineers have been enrolled into SEAP up to January 2025. SEAP is a 3 years training. For those who are having bachelor degrees, you are going to do this training for 3 years. If you have joined the program with the master's degree of engineering, you are going to do it in 2 years. For those having PhD in engineering, the training is for 1 year. SEAP is voluntary, not mandatory, but we advise you to put it in to be mandatory to you because it is very important. Why SEAP? More than 3,000 engineers are graduated from different universities. And these engineers are competing for a job in the world market. So the employers need you to have experience and skills. Where are you going to acquire such skills? Where are you going to acquire such skills so that you can be employed? That's why SEAP is important. So through SEAP is only way and the easiest way for you to being linked with the employer and to gain experience and skills which the employer needs. The importance of SEAP is to acquire training places, as was stated earlier, also to acquire minimum experience, as you have said. For if you have bachelor degree, you are going to acquire minimum experience of 3 years. For those having master's, minimum experience of 2 years to be registered. And for those having bachelor degree, minimum experience of 1 year to be registered as a professional engineer. Also, it breaks vicious cycle by getting unemployment. There are several parties involved in SEAP program. First is ERB. It coordinates the program on behalf of the government.